Hello, Jill, slightly crazy tarot lady. Yeah, the scapegoat. Just wanted to talk about my second counselling session. I've been meaning to do this since Tuesday, but it's been a busy week. Kids have been off and just been tired by the time they've gone to bed, so I haven't got round to it. This week we didn't really touch on the incident too much. She was more interested in my traumas, what what causes me to be the way I am. So she asked me to write a list of traumatic incidents through my life. I've got up to 8 years old, and I can't remember being 9 or 10, which I will have a little think about, because I obviously was 9 and 10. So something must have happened in them years. It might not have been traumatic. It might have been, it could have been anything. Who knows? So I'm going to try and have a think, see if I can remember more. But I was going to talk about my first trauma, and I've been debating whether I should or not, because it involves my mum. But my mum's passed away, so I just want anyone who's watching this who thinks I shouldn't be talking about my mum to know that I am doing this partly for her. She had complex trauma, and it was never treated because she didn't know what was wrong with her. She just tried to drink away her problems. So, you know, she's not here now. Well, I think she'd actually be happy with what I'm doing, because she will have known how hard it was for her with that. So my first trauma was nearly drowning when I was 5. Now, I'm going to tell you my perspective of it, and I'm going to tell you what I've been told as well, from other people. So we were at Butlins, and she was like helping me swim, holding me like that, from the stomach going along. And then she let go, when you're supposed to just swim, and yeah, you could swim, but I went under, and I was at the bottom, which that felt like a lifetime to me, but it obviously couldn't have been a lifetime, because I'd still stupid. Yeah, but I was at the bottom, and then I remember her looking at me and not getting me, and then she got me like on. She had me like round the stomach and slapping me back, and I was coughing up loads of water, and it was coming out my nose, and I was crying, and my mum laughed, and yeah, which is, to me, was sadistic sort of laugh that she did have, because she had that wicked streak in her. It might be a kid. I should shut up now, they're just playing. Yeah, so she had that sort of sadistic streak in her, and yeah, I think she enjoyed it, to be honest. I'm getting calls now, so I'm just going to pause. Hello, my daughter's Nintendo Switch won't charge, so that's where I had to go. Yeah, but that trauma, I wanted to tell you to resolve trauma and how I've dealt with it, but that trauma is not resolved fully. Now, I can go in the water, but I can't swim, and I'm 41. So, it's like, I'm fine to go in the water. I can splash about and play with the kids and stuff like that, but I have to stay in the shallow end. And when I have tried to, learn to swim, it's like I get to this, like the point where you're floating, the point of float, yes, yeah, that I get to that, and then I just feel anxious and feel tense, and I come back up, and it's got, so it's quite low. Like when I went to America, I tried a few times, and I got back, and I lay back, and I relaxed to a point, and then, yeah, I go anxious, and there's not a damn thing I seem to be able to do about it. I'm hoping in the future I'll get a lot of pool time, and I'll get my kids to teach me how to swim, because I want to deal with it. I want to get over it. But when I mentioned to my mum about this incident, I was told it didn't happen, it was being dramatic, and that I was only under for a second. all that, So part of me, well, is gaslighting, because she knows I was under there and I was at the very bottom and I was there for a while, so she's telling me that because obviously, you know. Well, it's obvious, isn't it, why? But the point being, because I've been told it hadn't happened, I brainwashed. I was brainwashed into thinking it hadn't happened, and that's happened a lot of times. And that means, because you're told it hasn't happened, how are you supposed to deal with something that hasn't actually happened? It makes it impossible. And then you get confused because you're having a traumatic memory, and you're remembering it, but it didn't happen. So you think there's something wrong with you, and you internalise that. And that becomes part of your character, part of who you are, and you have to work at that as an adult to get rid of that. So that's what not that one trauma. There's a lot of traumas, and I will be telling you about all of them, even the ones my family don't want you to know, because at the end of the day, I used to keep quiet about everything, but now my way of looking at it is, if they don't want you to talk about it, they shouldn't do it. Simple. And they have done these things, so if you hear about them, fine. They will tell you I'm mentally unstable, but I've never been more mentally stable than I am now. Although I have been mentally unstable most of my life. Yeah, now, I could just talk about stuff like that. It doesn't upset me. It has no hold over me. It has no power on me. The only time it has that bit of power is when I'm trying to learn how to swim and I get to the point of float, and that's a new thing I just made up. Yeah, so that's the only time that has any effect on me. But in emergency circumstances, I do the actions of a swimming person. I know this because when I was 15, we went on holiday to Spain. It was because my brother was wanted by the police. And I can tell you this because my mum's died, and she can't face criminal charges for aiding and abetting. So, she gave him money to go to Spain, and we went out and visited him. It was, I don't remember the exact date, but it was when tins of beans were having the war, and it was like 1 and 3p, because remember, we took as many as we could. And I remember my brother had the camper van there. It was a fun holiday, but one night he was sad by the pool. He'd lost his family and everything. We were having a nice little chat, and to cheer himself up, he decided to fling me in the pool, and I can't swim, so he went in after me and tried to, grab me rather than let it pull me out, to save me. But I seen it as him trying to, get me. So I went and pushed his head under and made myself swim to the side. So, there is, there is the ability. It's just the panic stops me. But when I'm in that defense mode, I can do it, So it's not that I don't know how to swim, it is just the getting tense at that point and not being able to get past that. But hopefully I'm going to definitely do it. I will be swimming by the time I'm 45, 41 now. Yeah, but that was funny because his friend was at the side of the pool, and he was getting really upset, and he was like, "Oh, I was going to jump in after you." And my brother said, well, "You can't even swim," and he said, "I know, but if you died, I'd want to die too." Yeah, that was funny. Yeah, it was a funny holiday, really, but you know. I don't look back on that incident as a traumatic incident. I look at it more of funny, you know. uh, so, but he probably shouldn't have thrown someone who can't swim in a pool, that is wrong. But, you know, he tried to save me and I tried to drown him. So, yeah, so I'm going to get over that one in time. But the fact that you are told these things didn't happen is extremely damaging to your psychology, because you're not, you know, if I'd have had some counselling about it at 5 years old, if I'd have talked to someone, you know, I'd I'd probably be swimming with everybody else. I'd be fine, you know. And that's why I'm doing these sorts of things, because I want people to get the help they need at the time they need it, not have to wait until their life's unbearable and then go to counselling. If you grew up knowing the right things to do, you'd be much safer, you'd be much happier. So I've got up to 8 on my trauma list. I'm going to have a think, see if anybody who knows me remembers me being 9 or 10, just, because I did exist then. I don't know what you're going to tell me, actually, so don't bother. Yeah, so I'm done and I'm just babbling rubbish now, so I will go. Actually, I won't go. I will do a little tarot read. Just a mini one. And I've lost my pendulum, so I'm just going to do the cards. So I'm just going to pull them apart or whatever. I'm not even going to look at me, look. What's that? Okay, well, the 10 of rods. So you've been working hard on something in your past, and it's going to start coming to fruition soon. You may be feeling a bit tired, a bit drained, but it's going to start coming good soon. And let's see. Next card, Knight of Swords. So this is a strong forward movement. So this is you carrying on, moving forward with your plans or whatever. It can be a gentleman coming towards you with passion in his pants. Yes, it can be a passionate gentleman coming towards you, but it can just be you moving forward with your life. And let's just see another one. Oh, death. So this is it's not an actual death. This is something ending, and that's making way for something new. So it's up to new start.